So today I'm going to be talking about open and closed kinetic chain exercises. First, an open kinetic chain exercise is any movement of the upper and lower extremities done in isolation. So that movement doesn't require the movement of any other joint or muscle. You can basically do it all in isolation. And closed kinetic chain exercise is any exercise where your upper and lower extremities are fixed on a relatively stable surface. Alright, so the first exercise we're going to be doing today is an open kinetic chain exercise, and it's going to be a leg curl. So this right here is just a basic leg curl. It's just the flexion of the knee. Now to make this a little bit more difficult, we're actually going to be raising our arms directly above our head, right beside our ears. And what this is going to do is it's actually going to raise our center of gravity, making it a little bit more difficult to balance. So it's just going to look like this. Arms directly above our head, right beside our ears. Same movement as before with the leg curl. Alright, now to make it a little bit more difficult, we're actually going to be laying down on the floor and repeating the exact same process of a leg curl. It's just going to be the easier version. So we're just going to lay on the floor and repeat the process of the leg curl. And that is it. Alright, so the first closed kinetic chain exercise we're going to be doing is a push-up. Now remembering what a closed kinetic chain exercise is, it's where our upper and lower extremities are fixed on a surface. But in these movements, it allows for many movements of different joints and different muscles. So for instance, in this push-up, we're going to be working our triceps, our biceps, our delts, our lats, and more. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is just a regular push-up. And then the easier version, we're actually going to go up onto our knees. Now going up onto our knees actually shortens the lever, which actually takes most of the load off the body. But also allows us to maintain a similar push-up position. Now to make it harder, I'm actually going to put my feet up on a higher elevation. So we're going to raise our feet up a bit to put us in a decline position. So we're going to look like this. And basically what that's going to do, it's going to make our ground force reaction higher than what it would be in a regular push-up position. It's also going to allow us to be lifting more body weight than we would in a regular push-up position. Now also a good thing to remember when making a push-up more difficult or more challenging is our base of support. So our base of support in this instance is going to be our hands. So the narrower it is, the more difficult it's going to be, and the wider it is, the less difficult it's going to be. So we're going to start off with a basic push-up, just like so. That was our basic push-up. Now to make it a little bit easier, we're going to go onto our knees. So same push-up position mostly. My hands are pretty far apart from each other, and we're just doing the same push-up motion. Alright, now to make it a little bit more difficult, I'm going to put my feet up on this table. We're going to be doing the exact same push-up position. Making it a lot more difficult. Alright, so the last exercise we're going to be doing is also a closed kinetic chain exercise, and it is going to be a lunge. So for the easier version of this lunge, we are going to stay in the final position of a lunge and take out the actual stepping portion. And then in this final position, we are going to go through the lunge motion. What this is going to do is actually take force off the body to return back to the original standpoint. Now to make it more hard, we are going to add the step back in as well as some added dumbbells for resistance. And what that is going to do is the body is going to have to adjust to the extra weight in order to allow the force to return back to the original standpoint, making it a little bit more difficult. We're also going to be changing our base of support. So in the easier version, we are going to make sure our legs are farther apart horizontally, And in the more challenging version, we're going to make sure they are closer together, shortening our base of support, which will allow for less stability. So here is the easy version of the lunge. So to get into the lunge position, we're just going to go like so, making sure our feet are farther apart horizontally. That'll allow for more stability. And then in the lunge position. So we're just going to go up and down. Up and down. So we're taking out the step, which would allow our body to go back to the regular position. Now we're going to add the same resistance with some 10-pound dumbbells, and we're going to add the step back in alternating legs. So forward and up, forward and up, forward and up. Our legs are also a lot closer together, making it a little bit more challenging to balance. Alright, and those are two versions of a lunge.